Okay. Injury front, AJ Green is in concussion protocol. Like I said to you guys yesterday, really proud of the guys and getting that team win. And I think there were moments there where offense had to come through, defense had to come through, special teams had to come through, and we did ultimately in the end. It was a great battle, which we knew it would be. I think that's a good football team. And so we knew it was going to take 60 minutes or more, in this case 70, but really proud of the guys. And then we're going to shift gears here and turn our gaze to Houston. But with that, I'll take any questions.
Thank you, Coach. Our first one today will be from Tom Withers.
Thanks, Rob. Thanks, Kevin. Hey, Kevin, yesterday, Miles was having a hard time even getting dressed after the game. Has there been any thought to having him, maybe take a week to get that thing as right as he possibly can?
I mean, with any decision like that, Tom, you're always making sure you're protecting the players and making smart decisions, talking to the medical professionals, those type of things. So we'll continue to do that. I don't know that that's what's going to happen here. He's continuing to battle through what all our guys are battling through, which is not feeling 100%.
I'll transition to Deshaun since you guys are as well. How does that look over the next couple of days, Kevin? And then I guess just real quickly, how has he looked in practice the last couple of weeks?
Yeah, so as you know, Tom, we had Deshaun in the building for 3 weeks, but not out on the field with us, and then the last couple of weeks out on the field. So next step is obviously being out there, taking all the first team reps. He's been doing a nice job getting the defense ready with the scout team reps that he's gotten. So I think he's done a nice job with his time away, physically staying sharp, mentally staying sharp. So I think he'll be ready to roll.
Thank you, Tom. Cam Justice is next.
Hey, Kevin, kind of off of that, with Deshaun back in full, he's been in those meetings, the virtual stuff and all that too, for a couple of weeks. Has there been something about his game or even his connection with the team that you've seen translate from those meetings onto the practice field since he's been back?
Yeah, I think you can go back, Cam, to the spring and summer. We've spent a lot of time together, and Deshaun spent a lot of time together with his teammates. So I think we mentioned it at the time. I still believe those are banked reps, so to speak. So it's something where Sean spent a lot of time with his teammates. I think they've all enjoyed having him back and being a part of the team. And I think they're excited for him in this next step.
And then with Anthony Schwartz, he also seemed to be connecting really well with Deshaun through practice. And with a player like him, he's talked about working on his confidence and all of that. So how important was that yesterday to have him have such a big role offensively and on special teams in continuing to develop him and prepare him for when Deshaun is back?
Yeah, I'm glad you asked about Anthony, Cam, because I'm really proud of him. I thought he had a really nice game yesterday. He helped us win, scoring early there on the reverse. And then, like you mentioned, on special teams, he's doing a great job as our gunner, making some huge plays for us in a field position game where we needed those plays. We needed that yardage in that game. So Anthony played at a very high level. We have a ton of confidence in him, and I think he'll continue to help this team win.
Thanks, Cam. Let's go to Scott Petrick.
Hey, Kevin, how important have the 6 weeks in the building and then these last 2 weeks in practice been for Deshaun, especially given the fact that he hasn't played in a regular season game in so long?
Yeah, I mean, I think all of it helps, Scott. When you're talking about getting ready to play football, I think you need the mental side of it. You need all those meetings. You need the walkthroughs. Obviously, the practice reps help. Even the scout team reps, when you're running the offense off of the card, you're playing the opposing team's quarterback in there in the huddle, and you're looking at the card, and we'll stand there and kind of put the play in our own verbiage. Say, okay, here's this play. Think 1 high, 2 high. Think progression read. Hey, it's a progression read with an option. Those type of things. Trying to put yourself in the game, if you will. So I think all those reps, even in the scout team, have helped.
And then yesterday, Jacoby was saying how Saturday night he didn't love the wound up being the touchdown pass to David when you guys went through the game plan. What about that play? Did you like that we're able to convince Jacoby that was the right play at the right time?
Well, you don't want to call many plays the quarterback doesn't like. In fact, you throw a lot of plays off the game plan sheet if the quarterback doesn't like them. We had a look in practice on Friday on that play, a similar look, and we talked through where the ball could go and basically said, hey, it's Dave one-on-one with the Mike linebacker who will have his back turned to you. So we talked through that rep. We didn't get a live rep of throwing that. We've had it over the course of the spring and summer. I can't sit here and tell you that Jacoby threw that exact ball to Dave in that situation, but it was just something you work through as a staff with your players. You constantly are talking about the game plan and talking about why this plays in, what we're thinking, why we're thinking it. But there's been plenty of times where Jacoby hasn't, felt comfortable with a play where we just take it off the call sheet.
Thank you, Scott. Mary Kay Cabot, go ahead.
Yeah, Kevin, speaking of play calling and quarterbacks, that relationship between the quarterback and the play caller is so vitally important, obviously. So just wondering, how are you going to get up to speed and get to know Deshaun as quickly as you need to get to know him so that you are calling things that he likes and that you have that give and take that you've developed over time with Jacoby?
Yeah, I think you're right, Mary Kay, that the relationship is important. It's to me, it's also important, the play caller to the quarterback room. It's really a group effort in there when you're talking about that. All the players talk about AVP and Drew, and it's a collective effort when it comes to play calling and the offensive staff, as you know, when you get to game day. But that quarterback room is where a lot of things get, talked through and evaluated, and we end up kind of, navigating where we want to go with the game. So that's important. With Deshaun, again, we spent a lot of time together. So he was here all spring, all summer, has been back in the building. I met with him this morning. So we'll continue to do that. That's what you do during the week. You spend extra time with the quarterback and the quarterback room, and we'll just stick to our process.
Thank you.
Thanks, Mary Kay. Next up, Ashley Bastock.
Hey, Kevin, have you guys had a chance to look at that missed Cade pick, the 39-yarder that went wide left, and what went wrong with that one?
Yeah, I'm not I did see it, obviously, on the film. Would have to talk to Cade. Before I say anything, I'd rather talk to Cade. I mean, you're going to miss some. You're not going to hit them perfectly. He nails a 51-yarder. So, but the specifics of that one, I'm not entirely sure just yet.
And then just another Deshaun question. I guess these weeks he's been back in the building. Like I guess what have you guys seen from him and what he's been able to do that gives you confidence that he's going to be able to step in as seamlessly as possible here?
Well, I have confidence in Deshaun based on his preparation, and really the focus is on just him doing his job. I mean, we're still going to be all about the team effort. It's still offense, defense, and special teams. So this is never ever going to be about one person. But as it relates to Deshaun, I believe in his preparation. I believe that he's worked really hard on a bunch of things to be ready to go.
Thank you, Ashley. Let's go to Dale Ryder.
Yeah, Kevin, you've talked about how you really like MJ Emerson's makeup for being such a young player. I don't think he allowed a catch yesterday, if my memory serves me correctly. And I guess I'm curious, what do you think his ceiling is?
Yeah, I don't know. I think you don't really want to put a ceiling on a young player. And I think he just, to me, is somebody that continues to get better. He works really hard at it with his coaches. And again, mentality wise, we talked about it yesterday. People go after rookie corners. They just do. So he doesn't shy away from it. He makes plays in the football. Obviously had the one penalty there, but I think that's the occupational hazard of playing corner. They're going to go after you. You're going to get beat every once in a while, but he keeps coming back and is resolute in that way.
And we've asked you a ton of questions about your special teams unit. Yesterday, they really came through for you, especially in the return game. Donovan Peoples-Jones averaged, I think, 15 yards a return. Jerome Ford continues to do a nice job returning kickoffs. Just give you an opportunity to talk about what a nice job they did and, the hope that they can keep that going forward.
Yeah, I thought our special teams were outstanding yesterday. And, we didn't on offense do enough with some of that field position. But it was a field position game. It was mentioned yesterday, it was body blows, and it was not a game that was going to be up and down the field. So all those extra return yardage, then you have to punt. It does turn into a field position game. So all of it mattered. Was really proud of Donovan, and he got north-south. He made people miss. And then it's nice to have him in those weather games. The wind's blowing, the rain's coming, and you have a ton of confidence in him. He's done it so often. And then Jerome, I think, I think he's a pretty good returner. I think he's hasn't done it a ton in his career. I know he didn't do it in his past, but he's shown that he's got vision, he's got speed, and he's definitely a threat for our team.
Thank you, Daryl. Jeff Shadell will have our next question.
Hey, thank you, Kevin. I have two unrelated questions. How will the offense change with Deshaun now at quarterback?
Yeah, I mean, I think we'll see is probably the short answer. What we'll always do, Jeff, is try to maximize the talents of our players. So there are things that you certainly will do with Deshaun. There's things that Jacoby was really good at, but you just want to always be thinking about your players and doing what they do best. So ultimately, it's our job to look at our players, who we have, and what are the things we want to do that maximize their talents.
And the second question, the run defense has been gashed here a couple of weeks, but after that 35-yard run, you guys really did a good job. So what was the key to that success?
Well, I think like we talked about all along, sometimes it's not real complicated. And I think we ran a lot of fronts and a lot of pressures and a lot of coverages that we've run in the past. And the guys just played with incredible effort, relentless in setting the edge, getting off blocks. And I think you saw a bunch of guys running to the football and tackling well. They did have that big run, which, good run by them. We didn't fit it perfect how we should, but that's going to happen. But after that one, I think the next one was the around they had to Julio. But guys fit their gaps, did their job, got their runner on the ground.
Thanks, Jeff. Tony Grossi, go ahead.
Hey, Kevin, obviously Deshaun has unique skill set, elite skill sets that has made him elite quarterback. Which particular skill of his might have a biggest impact on your playbook going forward?
Yeah. I think Deshaun's played a lot of football. He's played in a lot of big games. So I think the tape is out on him. I think everybody has seen his ability to make all the throws, very athletic, can make plays with his feet, but can really hurt you from the pocket as well. So I'd say his versatility is something that you've seen over the course of his career.
And Ashley asked you about Cade York. I was going to ask you a few slow-mo that field goal attempt. It looked like his plant foot slipped. Is that in the conversation at all?
Yeah, for sure. And, our field was in great shape yesterday. It's sometimes you're playing outdoors and you're playing on grass. Those things might happen, but they happen to the other side as well.
Tony, Matt Fontana, you're up.
Yeah, Kevin, there's a lot of questions, I guess, maybe more outside, but about the rust with Deshaun. It's been a long time since he's played in a regular season game. Just, is that at all a worry for you?
Yeah, I mean, like I certainly get it, but can't really control that. For me and for Deshaun and for all of our players, just got to keep the focus on doing our job. Think about there's some guys that don't play in preseason football and then they get in there week one. Need to get tackled first time before they feel like, they're ready to go. So I think some of those things may be true, but, I don't want to put anything on Deshaun that I think it's unfair for me to say at this point. We don't know.
And kind of off of that, I mean, you mentioned it's, we got to figure it out. Is that something where he is such a talented quarterback, you can open things up with him, or is it, easing back in and kind of is the full game plan going to be open for him on Sunday?
Yeah, we'll see.
Thank you, Matt. We have time for three more. Tom, Scott, Mary Kay. Tom, go ahead.
Thanks, Rob. Thanks, Kevin. Kevin, I know you're big on the mental side of things, and there's really no blueprint for Deshaun to follow here in terms of the scrutiny, all that he's been subjected to over these last few months. What has your role been in helping him kind of navigate that to handle all that's come his way?
Yeah, I think Deshaun has the support of his teammates, has the support of this organization. Really, right now, his focus and my focus is on the Houston game. And, that's what we have to do as players, as coaches, is put the blinders on. Whatever's going on the outside really can't matter to us. We got to focus on doing our job. And I think he definitely understands that.
And considering that could be a volatile environment down there, was there any consideration to him not playing this week and maybe having him come back next?
No.
Thank you, Tom. Scott, Patrick, go ahead.
Again, before I ask you about MJ, is Greg Newsome still in the protocol?
He's trending in the right direction, but I don't know exactly where he is.
Okay. And then regarding Martin, you talk so much about his strong mental makeup, but what physically allows him to compete with some of the best receivers in the league, early on in his career?
Yeah, I mean, part of the reason, we really liked him in the draft is a guy with that size that can run. That's rare. So good height, good length, can win at the line of scrimmage and then can stay with the receivers down the field. But he's again, young player, getting better, but like where he's like that he's getting some really good reps and getting better each week.
Thanks, Scott. Final question for Coach Mary Kay Cabot.
But yeah, Kevin, it really seems like Deshaun and Jacoby are genuinely friends and that they have a really good working relationship. How might that relationship ease this transition on those guys and also just the whole rest of the team?
Yeah, I think that's something we've talked about, Mary Kay, is this is a unique situation. I don't know that it's been exactly like this previously, but with these two guys involved, with these two parties, you have guys that respect each other, that really work hard together. That quarterback room is a team. So I think I've seen support from Deshaun of Jacoby the last 5 weeks that Deshaun's been back. So it just becomes now Jacoby supporting Deshaun, and I think Jacoby's going to help us win this week. He's going to help get Deshaun ready. He's going to help get our defense ready. He's going to provide leadership to this team. That's just what he does.